Hi guys, so a bit of a different YouTube video. I wasn't going to do anything on it, but a lot of people have shown a bit of interest in it, so I'm going to do one quick video of where we're up to with the van. So this van is to take our drift car to events, and we also want to use it for weekends away, so having to put a bit of thought into it for it to serve both purposes really. Here's a quick picture of what we had, the old Citroen Relay. So the old Citroen Relay was the old 2.2 Transit engine. It was an awesome little van. I really can't fault it. It drove like a dream. It never caused us an issue, but it was only a 3.5 ton van. So, like unfortunately most motorsport people that use vans like that, typically we're overweight now. We have to carry sometimes 20 wheels and tyres, a full toolkit, spare parts, enough bits and bobs for the weekend, fuel, you name it, we have to carry it. Plus the car on the back. We exceed its gross train weight.
Stan. Hi Stan.
Stan's come to say hello. Yeah, so we bought this van. Now this van is a 5-ton van. I can't remember what the train weight is, but it's a lot. So I'm lucky enough to have got my driving licences through the army, so I've got HGV, so driving this isn't an issue. Now this started life as an old disability minibus. The gentleman I bought it from owned a paint shop. He bought it, removed the lift off the back, ripped all the seats out of it, repainted it, colour coded all the bumpers, done all the bodywork, made it look nice, because he was going to turn it into a camper. He was doing it through COVID, but unfortunately ran out of time. So I bought it off him, and he was lucky enough that he threw in solar panels, fans, insulation, all sorts of bits and bobs really. So I'm just going to walk you around very quickly in this one video and let you know everything we've done up to now. It might help someone that's building the same sort of vehicle, so let's go. Alright, starting from the outside of the van, what have we done? So I've put the three 300 watt solar panels on the roof, so we've got 900 watts of solar. I put a maxi fan and a pop-up roof light, ceiling light, whatever you want to call it, on the roof. I'll talk more about that in a minute. You could see the solar panels from the back of the van, they look pretty bad. So I've added a little eBay boot spoiler, painted that myself. I'm no painter, but I'm quite... blacked out the windows, we've done that all the way around, apart from the fronts obviously, just for a bit of privacy. Now underneath the van, let's take a look. So under here, not a load to look at, but... Stanley,
this is not
you are not helping. Jesus Christ.
God's sake.
Right, so there's not a whole ton to look at under here. Obviously our tow bar and our water tanks. Now, this twin rear wheel van, they didn't do water tanks specifically for it. So it was a case of measuring, shopping around for a couple of tanks that would fit, and we made some custom brackets. So we've got our 90 litre freshwater tank, and I think it's a 70 litre waste tank. We're going to have an electronic drain valve on here, and we've already fitted our water feed pipe to fill up this tank, which I'll show you a bit more in a second. Our level sensors are in, they're the other ones hanging out the other side, so we know what the levels of the tank are in the van. There ain't a lot else to look at under here. Oh, the rear axle. Now we changed the rear axle because the ratio was so bad. It was 3,200 revs at 60 mile an hour. We've dropped that down probably 1,000 RPM, so it cruises so much nicer. It was an expensive thing to do, but I couldn't be cruising at that slower speed at that high an RPM. So yeah, it drives real nice now. Not much to look at on this side of the van other than the tinted windows, but the only thing we have got here is our water fill point. So, lockable cap to fill up our fresh water tank. And I'm not going to lie, drilling a hole in the side of a mint van, that weren't fun. Alright, now I apologise the van is so dirty, but we didn't actually intend on doing this video today. It's just a case of a little bit of content to show where we are so far. I'll get it cleaned up before the next video, but this is just a quick rundown of where we are. So, here we have our LPG tank fill point. So we've got, I think it's a 20 litre LPG tank underneath. This is where you fill it up, and that's for our oven and our gas hob. and a little bit of something special on the back. Let's take a look.
Wait. I'm going to show
Oh.
you the extra special.
Yeah, I slipped. Now, a good friend of mine, Colin White from CW Products, has done me a sticker to go around that. But yeah, I slipped with a finger blaster or belt sander, whatever you want to call it.
It really annoys Mark.
And I'm fuming about it, so I haven't got over it. But yeah, on the back here is, and now this was inspired by Matt Smith's van. He's got a brand new, beautiful man van. I see this on his and I really liked it. So that's an LPG outlet for our barbecue. The idea being is we can cook outside of the van instead of getting it all stinky inside. And it's nice free fuel, not free fuel, but easy fuel point, easy outlet for the barbecue, fuel point for the barbecue. I know what I mean, but yeah, I like that. So at the front of the van, there's literally nothing to tell you. As I said, previous owner colour-coded the bumpers, done all the paintwork. The 2.5 5-cylinder engine, it's an old engine. I mean, this has only done 70,000 miles. I've done timing belt, service, usual bits, but it was a bit gutless. So using the quantum tuning that we use here, I remapped it and now shift the lights along. Alright, inside the van. So in the front, I haven't done loads. The interior lights didn't work. The circuit board was fried, so we managed to repair that. I've added a seat, which I don't know what it's from, but it was a Facebook Marketplace purchase with 2 armrests. I do like an armrest on a long journey. We've added a nice eBay app-based stereo, front and rear cameras. There's also a tow bar camera as well, GPS unit, a few bits and bobs in the front here. And now I'm going to show you under this seat. So, at the moment, obviously, the swivel seat's spun round, and this is how it will be when we're plotted up. Now, if I lift that, you can take a look inside. Now, this isn't going to be to everyone's taste, but in here we have our leisure battery, which is, if I remember rightly, 500 and something amps leisure battery, lithium, sitting pretty nice in there. Moving round from that, we've got a big 400 amp master fuse. On the earth, we've got a shunt, which gives us a display of the amount of power going in, out, and power remaining in the battery. Down here, we've got our 2 DC chargers. So I went for 2 because they only do 30 amps each. So we've now got 60 amps. We've got a Victron distribution panel, which is basically somewhere to join all your wires up. Now this is a trip. There's one of these both sides of this cable, which is basically the feed from the vehicle battery to the charge units. What else we've got to talk about in here? Now these DC charge units are designed to be vertically mounted so that the heat can rise out of the heat sinks. Now I made a bit of a mistake with that till after I fitted them. So because it was all in and I like the way it looks, I've just chose to add some fans. So we've got a fan coming in and a fan going out. This grey wire here, if Mel can see that. Yeah, this grey wire here is basically a temperature probe which sits underneath there to measure the temperature of those DC charge units. Now mounted into the dash, we have our temperature controller. Now that is currently set for 32 degrees and that will turn on the fans underneath those DC charge units, keeping them nice and cool. A little bit of an afterthought, but I kind of like it. We can play around with that. Yeah, as I say, this isn't going to be to everyone's taste. I mean, I spoke to a few people about how I was going to do this electrics, and people were saying, no, I should mount them in the back. But for me, when you're using high power cables, they should be as short as possible. So my van battery is literally just in front of this box. I've got my leisure battery here and my inverter here, all super close together. So there's not one wire that's longer than that. And I like that. The longer the cable, the more resistance, the more heat's generated, more problems. Now what we've done here is we mounted our amplifier for our subwoofer, which I'll show you in a bit, and our inverter here. Now this will be panelled in. It'll have a nice Perspex front. It'll have some mood lighting in there, just because you can. Then we're going to build a step over here, which will run all the way down to the cupboards, and that's just to put your feet on while you're sitting on the chair, because the chair's quite high. So I like the idea of a step. I think it's going to look smart, again with some mood lighting going around. I think that's going to look pretty good, and it's somewhere to put the inverter nice and close to the battery. Yeah, so as I said earlier about the shunt, now the shunt displays here. Basically at the moment that's telling me the voltage. I've got to try and remember how to use it. Yeah, I've forgotten already. Amps coming in, out, watts, 100% leisure battery. So that tells me power going in and out the leisure battery and how much is remaining. At the moment the leisure battery is fully charged and we can monitor it in the back of the van. Now audio is quite important to me. I do like to have some music in the van. So this is something we've put into the back. Originally I wanted these further apart, kind of logically that would make sense, but we've got a cupboard going here, so I couldn't get the speakers there. I'm quite happy with that. Some mid-range and some tweeters. The bass is cut out of these, so it's just mid-range and treble. The crossovers are mounted on the back. We can still get stuff in and out of our shelf. Perhaps not the best thing in the world, but it's functional and it works. Alright, so what we've got here is our solar panel charge unit and our fuse box, which will distribute power to all of the items on the van. Now, this was a bit of a kind of, it's not an afterthought, but I weren't sure if this was going to work. It's cheap off of eBay. It basically has a control panel. It comes with all of the little icons to put on the buttons, and that will turn everything on and off. Now, if I hit this button here,
Oh, something clicked.
that's the inverter turned on down there. So you should have a little green light on top, Mel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now if I hit this button here,
Oh.
and then Mel looks up, that turns on the maxi fan. Exciting, huh? To me, that was exciting because it works. Now this can also be controlled by my phone. So we can go to bed at night and I can do everything on here by my phone. So we can go to bed and basically turn everything off in the van from our bed, or turn it on in the morning. So far it's working really well. For something that's just a cheapie off eBay, I'm impressed with it. What we've done, the solar panels, obviously that charge unit was, I kind of forgot about it when I'd done all the electrics underneath the passenger seat. And when I thought about it, I decided that I didn't want to kind of redo everything. Plus, the cables from the solar panels didn't reach down there, so I would have had to lengthen them. I had concerned about resistance, whereas they reached here. And this was an easy way of joining the power cables to this big power cable, which goes down to the leisure battery. So it works, and it's fused both ends. You know, maybe not ideal, but fully functioning. So far, it's working well. Easy to get to. Accessibility was a big thing for me. So I wanted to be able to access everything nice and easily without having to dismantle the van. So there will be a cupboard over here, and they're just going to be at the back of the cupboard. So nice and easy. Okay, so moving on to the layout of the van, I'll just brush over it quick. So we've got obviously our spun round chair, going to have our step here. Then coming around this way will be our kitchen cupboards. Now, I've kind of done this on purpose, I'm quite happy with it. That chair folds forward, the cupboards will end here, and I should be able to fit a little pop-up table at the end just to extend that countertop. That should be pretty cool. Cupboards will come to about here, and then we have a 50p shaped shower here with toilet in there. And then from the shower, we're probably going to come to about here. And then we're going to have an L-shaped seating area, which will also be a step up into the bed. And you'll be able to lift up the base to slide the toilet cassette out. So put a fair bit of thought into it. Now the bed is long ways. In the Citroen it was width ways, and we felt super cramped like that. So we've gone a long ways to give ourselves a bit more leg and headroom. What it does give is this little gap here, which we're going to go floor to ceiling with cupboards. So we've got somewhere to put our clothes, our boots, our shoes, anything we want really. It's just going to be like having wardrobes in your bedroom. Should be pretty cool. And here there will be a refrigeration unit. So it's going to be a tall-ish cupboard, matching all the other cupboards. And the fridge we bought was tiny. It was a kind of bit of a buying error really. So that will be up higher. And that's going to be for like our milk, our butter, usual bits and bobs, some bacon and sausages. But underneath will be our fridge from the Citroen, which is a mobile portable fridge. and that's going to slide out that way from underneath. So that will, obviously the normal fridge will be powered all the time, that one will be powered till you unplug it, and you can take that to the beach, take that to the bank to watch drifting, you know, do whatever you like with that. More for the beers and the cold drinks. On top of it, it'll be a nice counter, and that control panel, which turns everything on and off, will be mounted on top. Hopefully, it's going to look alright and it's going to work well. Here is a subwoofer in a box. I'm not 18 anymore, but I still like my tunes. That's going to get built into the bottom of the L-shaped seating area. That's actually in and functioning now off of the amplifier. I don't think there's much more to talk about in here, is there, Mel?
Nope.
Obviously, maxi fan, pop-up lantern thing. Solar panels are up there. Electrics are in.
We've done all the insulating. Well, practically.
Mel done all the insulating. So all this insulation was all done by Mel. Obviously, what do they call it? Thermal break. So the silver foil insulated thermal break went on first, and then this recycled plastic bottles, apparently, woolly stuff, has now gone on top of that. So it's doubly insulated all the way around, down both sides, even in the garage area. On the floor, we've just gone for this, because believe it or not, we don't have a ton of head height in here. So we've, instead of battening it and going crazy, we've just gone for that. If the floor's a bit cold, we'll have some slippers. So the garage area, I'm still putting a lot of thought into this. It's obviously a lot bigger than what a lot of campers would be, but as I said, we got to carry a lot of stuff. The Citroen, the toolbox was inside the living area. It doubled up as our kitchen worktop, but
I hated it.
Mel hated it, and I understand why, because we was getting in and out non-stop for a drift day with our dirty boots. Everything was getting filthy.
Tools were left next to the hob.
Yeah, it was nasty. It didn't work. So we learned a lot from the Citroen. So obviously I had to think, we've got to get 20 odd wheels and tyres in here, we've got to get tools in here, trolley jacks, etc, etc. So I've come up with this. Now, I don't know if it's going to work. Obviously, these have been cut down already by the previous owner, pretty standard on a trim wheel van like this. And it will be false floored right the way across at this height, maybe a little higher, maybe a batten. So we're going to have a false floor right the way across here, and underneath the false floor will be a giant pull-out drawer. Obviously nothing's fixed at the moment, but that's going to be a giant pull-out drawer. And in that drawer will be all our tools laid flat in trays. Idea being is we take the tray out, we put it on a table, a fold-up table in the pit area. Everything's all laid out, everything in cut-out foam trays. We can see if anything's missing, access our tools nice and easy. And when we put it away, bonk, 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 and then slide them back underneath the false floor. Tools hidden, out the way, tidy and organised. Areas like this will be for trolley jack, axle stands, bits and bobs like that. The wheels stack vertically. The bed height is set so we can stack vertically all the way across, as many rows as we want to do. That's literally as far as I've got with it, with my thought process. I do need to put more thought in here, but I think this is a bit that's just going to kind of grow as we need to. Yeah, that's about it for the garage. Well, that's it, guys. Just a quick walk around the van. What I didn't want is for this YouTube channel to become a van building YouTube channel, you know. So one quick blast over where we're at now, and I'll probably do another one when it's done just to show you how it got finished. Everyone can research on YouTube how to do this sort of thing, so I'm not going to go over it. I'm just showing you how I'm setting it all out, basically. Hopefully it works, and hopefully we'll have a cool van to go to drift days and have little weekends away. See you later.